Welcome to The Breakdown, your weekly show talking about all things Love Island. I mean, all things gaming and esports.
No.
No Love Island. They won't let me talk about Love Island, people.
No.
I know you want me to talk about Love Island. I know you want to talk about who got kicked out. So do I. They won't let me. Anyway, we're going to talk about gaming and esports, as we always do every Wednesday. It is the 26th of February. Holy shit. February 26, 2020. Episode number 7. And again, I even tried to put a Love Island logo over here.
No.
Vetoed by the crew. So unfortunately, that is my new guilty pleasure, catching up on Love Island. But we won't talk about it, at least not this week. So let's get into it. A couple quick little housekeeping reminders. As always, we do questions and answers at the end of the show. So if you're in chat today and you've got a question for me, whether it's about a topic I discuss or one that's just on your mind, that you think I might have an opinion about, just use DNPeak in our chat. That'll highlight the question. The gang will grab it, and then Jason's going to hit me with some questions at the end of the show, as always. All right. So let's start off with this first topic. Again, I was going to say short show, but every time I say that, it ends up being a long show. So this will be a medium-sized show. Got 5 cards worth. 5 cards worth. Whatever that's worth. So first thing, Activision Blizzard dropped a subpoena on Reddit to find out the identity of a poster who leaked some Call of Duty information. So the reason I wanted to kind of talk about it is this kind of opens up a whole can of worms, right? So poster on Reddit leaks an image that he or she finds on the internet about the upcoming game, spoiler information, so to speak. Call of Duty sees it, Activision Blizzard sees it. They hit Reddit with a DMCA, which means take this shit down, we own it. And Reddit kind of has to comply with those things. If you're familiar with DMCAs, it basically gives the content platform a safe harbor to utilize other people's content. Caveat being, if someone who owns said content comes to them and says, hey, that's ours, DMCA, take it down, Reddit, YouTube, Twitches of the world, they all have to kind of abide by the system, and then there's obviously a counter appeal system and all that goes along with it. But anyway, Reddit got hit with this subpoena. So not only did they get DMCA'd and remove this information from your website right now, but they've now subpoenaed Reddit to get the guys or gals, could be a female, getting their actual username details and information. Again, trying to find out who this leaker is and to probably go after them legally, right? It opens up a very interesting, again, just a can of worms on what is safe on the internet to talk about, to leak, where are your legal repercussions, kind of unrelated. But we've seen over the last couple of years, game developers especially go really hard at cheat manufacturers, right? Cheating websites, people that sell the cheats, people that make the cheats, like they're starting to get sued by game developers to kind of clean up, the problems of their end game, right? If a game's full of cheaters, no one wants to play it. This is a different tact on that, but again, it's a developer-publisher kind of leaning into the other worlds we live in, going, this is uncool, so take it down, but also tell me who did that, so I can go after them legally. I'm all for going after cheaters. I don't know, guy found a leaked screenshot. It's not like, the Watergate papers are being leaked or something, so I don't know about going after the guy legally. It'll be interesting. We'll try to keep an eye on the story. It'll be interesting if Reddit gives up the info, right? Because if you're Reddit and you start giving out that info, again, it gets into a whole can of worms about your user base not trusting you anymore. And we see this with like phone companies, Apple, the Androids, the Samsungs getting sued every so often or subpoenaed by government officials to get access to people's phone records, right? So this is kind of slightly different. Obviously, Activision Blizzard thinks they've got a legal leg to stand on to go after this guy. But again, it's just, the Johnny Bravos of the world, on Reddit should just keep an eye on this. And, I think if platforms start giving up people's details, it'll bite these platforms in the ass, right? And again, I'm not necessarily for full anonymity where you can say and do whatever you want on the internet and have no repercussions as a human, but somewhere along the way, it just gets a little interesting. So that's that one little story. Again, we'll keep an eye on it. I just thought it was kind of, again, this little like civil liberty kind of issue at hand, if you will. Privacy rights of Reddit to keep people's information private, etc. So that's that. Now, it wouldn't be a breakdown if we didn't talk a little bit about Overwatch League. I don't want to harp on like a broken record. I'll start with the good stuff first. Better production value this week. Less mistakes, less timing issues, flowed better. Segments in and out of the Watchpoint desk in LA, much tighter, much smoother, as it should be, right? Didn't seem like Zoe was getting stepped on very much this time. So that was kind of nice. But we got this. So they did have one little bit going on where guys were dressed up as cops and stuff, and they went to the full shot, the wide shot of everybody, and there was obviously a production guy who was hanging out, fixing something on the floor next to Zoe, either the green screen or her microphone or something. You could even see in this clip the green screen kind of moves behind them a little bit. So I don't know if that's what he's adjusting. But again, funny bit, it was kind of neat, but it's just one of those things like, that's an avoidable one. Like, whoever's taking those camera shots, you go, oh, fuck, production guy's in the wide shot. You don't take the wide shot. Now, maybe it was all timing, and the guy went to take the wide shot. The minute he took the wide shot, that guy popped his head up, right? And when he was clearing the wide shot, it was clear, right? But again, not bad. And considering what we've talked about the last couple weeks of like systemic problems with the timing of going to commercial break and all those kind of things. Like, this is how it should be. One or two mistakes happen in live TV all the time. So like, it's not a big deal, but there's I love that. The guy's just poking his head up. He's fixing something, either her belt pack or whatever. But generally, good show. The other thing I do want to talk about a little bit before we get into kind of the meat of the Overwatch story this week is we've gotten a little bit more numbers. We're still waiting to get them kind of clarified and put into a spreadsheet. But it is safe to say that week 1 has been their highest viewed numbers. Week 2 was a little less. Week 3 was a little less. So viewer base is not growing for the Overwatch League, right? For all sorts of reasons. And again, like, that's one of my metrics to kind of keep an eye on is, are you keeping the same viewers? Are you losing viewers? Are you growing viewers, right? And again, they're not growing viewers. They need to do something, whether it's advertise more, get out more in other areas that they're not advertising. Again, you watch Call of Duty's League, you see Overwatch commercials. You watch the Overwatch League, you get Call of Duty commercials. But where outside of those two products that they have full control over are they advertising these leagues, right?
Crunch time.
Crunch time. So now they need to do a better job of just getting the word out there, right? Again, homestands are well attended. You know, that is a good time. People are enjoying going to those. We knew that those were going to be popular for a while because they're new events in these cities, right? So they should be well attended. But again, they got to put a stop to the bleeding of their viewership. They just have to. They have to figure it out. Call of Duty's stabilized their numbers. Again, like they've got their work cut out for them. Now, on top of that, and this is obviously no fault of their own, nothing they could do to plan for this, to fix this, to make this all go away. But what is really hurting them, I think, and is going to continue to hurt them, is this right here. So the coronavirus obviously is a big fucking deal, right? I know we joke about it. We've made memes, and we've got the Corona beer bottles going. But it's obviously a fucking global crisis at this point, or about to be a global crisis. It is making its way into other countries. You know, Italy's got it now. France just announced today they've got their first cases. It is definitely leaving China. It is left. Rumor has it, it's in LA. Flight attendant brought it over. Again, a lot of these are rumors and not necessarily solidified yet. But out of this, Overwatch last month, because of the coronavirus in China, had already made a statement that they were going to reschedule all their Chinese homestands, because again, they have several Chinese teams, and they were going to work on that. And in the meantime, those Chinese teams were going to head to Korea to keep practicing to get somewhere safer. And then there is a Korea homestand. And then the debate was, are they just going to do more in Korea? Are they going to add new ones somewhere else? But now what we've got, according to this, is Korea's canceled or postponed, right? And it happened like really quick to the point where some of the teams and the players were tweeting that like their flights were changed, they're leaving right now, like they literally had to scramble to get out of the country, right? Because what happens in these situations is often where you want to go is going to close to you, right? Oh, you're coming from an infected country, you can't come here, right? We've seen this on cruise ships in the last couple of months that are trying to dock in different places and like, oh no, this cruise was in Singapore. Singapore has an outbreak. You can't get off. You're quarantined on the ship till we clear everybody. So it's unfortunate. Their plan A, after having to postpone, has now had to change, right? So it creates for them a whole just fucking plethora of bad shit, right? So again, most important season of the existence of the league happening right now, right? All the teams moving home, not half of them, well, maybe not half, but a whole bunch of them not able to do their homestands. And homestands in a region that are really important and really popular for the global welfare of this game, right? The Asian region. So those teams can't activate, those fans can't activate, and now the teams have to leave Korea as well. It just opens a big, like, how the fuck are they going to make up all these matches kind of conversation with people, right? Show has to go on, right? You have to keep playing your homestand. So you've got the Fusion, who have played 10, 12 matches by the time any of these teams play a single match, right? It jeopardizes their mid-season tournament because how do you have a tournament based on rankings of the first part of the year when a ton of teams haven't even played yet? And again, so it just sucks, right? I can't lay this one on Overwatch and go, you guys fucked this up, you didn't hire the right people. You're like, it has nothing to do with anything with their operation. But they are certainly getting penalized by this virus, so to speak. League of Legends shutting down things over there as well for the LCK, LPL, am I saying that right? Their Asian League of Legends franchise league has also been postponed. A lot of this stuff is happening over there, and now it's moving postponements and things being kind of pushed back is happening all around the world, right? Yesterday, big post from Dick Pound, who runs the Olympic Committee, the IOC, Dick Pound, saying that Tokyo might be in jeopardy. Tokyo is the next Olympics, and that they're watching it very closely. You know, fear for fans, fear for athletes, fear for officials. You know, if this virus ends up getting into Japan in any sort of size, you know, because Olympics are coming up pretty soon. So, you know, they're talking about postponing that, relocating it. Now, try to relocate the Olympics on a short notice, a big old monster like that, oh, God. I mean, on a good day, the Olympics is a monster, let alone having to move it last minute. It takes years to prepare a city for the Olympics, right? To prepare a country for the Olympics. So, and I saw an article that London has stepped up and said, hey, we could probably do it. You know, we could probably scramble because, again, London did Summer Olympics already. They have a lot of the venues still. They already have the infrastructure of a big city and all those kind of things. So, but everyone is scrambling to the point. So, like, I know I like to give Overwatch a lot of shit. This sucks for them. This is not their fault, but this is really fucking their season up. And then Jason, when we were chatting about this, when we were talking about the delay, and then when would they make it up? How would they make it up? Jason, you brought up a really interesting kind of side topic that I want to discuss a little more. Before Jason speaks, remember, starting next week, Overwatch League starts banning heroes from the meta. They'll take 4 heroes total, 1 support, 1 support, 2 DPS, 1 support.
One tank,
1
2
tank.
DPS, 1 support.
1 support, yep. That they're going to ban every week based on the most popular played heroes of the previous 2 weeks, right? To kind of keep the Overwatch League meta a little spicier, everyone on their toes. We've debated it a lot, if it's good or bad for teams and when do they practice, who gets banned, who doesn't. But Jason, you bring up your point, because I think this is a really interesting topic.
Well, how are they going to do these makeup matches with these hero bans? Right now, you're going to have, most likely what's going to happen is they're going to try to, yeah, smile, Dan. they're going to have to stack all these matches together. So you're going to have your week 1, 5, and 7 matches all happening in the same week, because that's what's going to happen. What are they going to do with their hero bans? Is the first game going to have no hero ban? Is the second game going to be, oh, no Reinhardt this one, but the next one, no? Like, it's so fucked up. They can't prepare for it, and it's not even parity across the league. It's not fair to not have to deal with the bans. So they should either scrap the system at this point or, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
they can figure it out.
Yeah, it's a really valid point, because when you brought it up, I was like, God, there's no easy answer to this. To be fair, they have to track what week 5's ban was, all 4 of them. And yes, TGM, the developer is doing the bans, not the players a la Dota, right? It's not a pregame ban, it's a weekly ban. To your point, the most fair thing is week 5, we banned these 4 heroes. When these teams make up week 5, they play by these rules. When they play week 6, they play by these rules. These are the guys that are banned. Week 7, these are the guys that are banned. Now, the problem is, even in that system, let's say they don't start doing the makeups till week 10. I don't know. I'm totally guessing here. But there's also an inherent advantage that I guess both sides would know, but the teams now don't get all that much time to prep for the bans, right? So whatever system they put in place, these affected teams might literally have weeks and months to figure out their schedule, their strategy, if you will, for this week and this week and this week based on those bans, right? Instead of that week having to decide and figure out your strategies, they would have a little bit more time to think about it. The fair thing would be both teams, ideally, are in the same situation, so they both have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it ends up being time frame-wise, to figure out how they're going to play that matchup with those bans. But again, it just throws a whole nother sticky wicket into this season of Overwatch. And I think, Jason, I think your point's actually really valid, is maybe you take this year and you literally just maybe mock do it, maybe track the stats, but don't necessarily activate any bans yet. Like, because again, like, how do you deal with this? I got some. You can come over here. What's going on? Oh, we got a production guy. That's such a bad joke, Jason. Jesus, you should have preset that. Oh, hey, there's Tyler. Yeah. God damn it. I never even know when I'm being trolled or not anymore. You know, I'm like, oh God, something's fucked up. I'm looking at my desk going, what's broken? Is my water bottle sticking out or something fucked up? You know, production's having an easy day when all they do is troll you, right? Thank you, Tyler, for fixing my trash can. I appreciate that. God damn it, Jason. Threw me off. So yeah, so it'll be very interesting. We're going to keep an eye on this and see if they have not announced how they're going to deal with this part of it, catching up on bans. But maybe they just scrap the system for now, but I doubt they will, because that's not the Blizzard way, right? And then let's move on. Again, coronavirus. I know we're joking about it. Like, trust me, like, it is a serious deal. We don't mean to make light of this. We will have fun with it. You know, the best way to deal with fear is to laugh. So, like, because again, like, now, obviously we have a global audience. Depending on where you are, you've heard about this for a while. But now, like, we're getting the U.S. Like, our news has now got concerned, right? They weren't concerned before. It was over there. It was in Europe. It was in Asia. But now you open our papers and it's like, it's coming. Prepare yourself. You know, like, now we care, right? We should have cared a long time ago. So, you know, be careful out there. I've got more coronavirus news as we get to some of the Counter-Strike stuff, but we'll talk about that towards the end of the show. But that's kind of it for Overwatch. Not a whole lot of stuff to talk about. I wish them the best of luck in figuring out how they deal with all this shit they have to deal with the rescheduling. That's no fun for anybody. Yeah, no, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Let's move on. In a topic that normally, I guess, I don't really give a fuck about, we're going to talk about this little drama that popped up. Ninja versus Tfue. Tfue. Right? If you're not familiar, Ninja, incredibly popular streamer, now on the Mixer platform. Tfue, incredibly popular streamer on the Twitch platform. Rivals have butted heads over the years, since the H1Z1 days even. And a little drama sparked this week when Ninja's Twitter got hacked. And I guess all the tweets have been deleted, so I don't have anything to show you there. But I guess whoever hacked whoever hacked his Twitter, sent some spicy stuff Tfue's way. Basically trash talking Tfue under the guise of Ninja. That led Tfue to make a basically Let's Fight Bro video. That's literally the best thing to call this, is Let's Fight Bro video. It's interesting. In the spirit of Jake Paul versus KSI boxing match, Tfue wants to get in a ring with Ninja and settle all their beef. We'll let Tfue tell you about the beef. He'll tell you all about the beef. Where's the beef?
All right, chat. I woke up this morning to a whole bunch of heat on Twitter. I guess supposedly Ninja called me out, challenged me to a fight. I think he did get hacked, but regardless of that, like, this is something that I need to get off of my chest for a while now. You guys know, for years and years, me and Ninja have been rivals, you know what I'm saying? Competing versus each other since H1Z1 to PUBG to Fortnite. And ever since I started blowing up on social media, blowing up on Twitch, whatever it may be, he's been trying to tear me down. He's been talking behind my back. I never mentioned this to anyone before, but he actually did try to get me permanently banned behind my back, try to literally ruin my career. And honestly, I should have called him out then. For some reason I didn't. I just let it slide, but like, I don't know why. Today I woke up, it just hit me like, I'm over this. Like, it's literally time. Like, I know he doesn't like me, and I know that he's been trying to tear me down forever, and I'm giving him the opportunity now to try to tear me down in the ring. Like, I don't care if UFC, MMA, whatever, the KSI, Logan Paul, it went down, it went well. Like, why don't we do it? Like, let's run it. Like, I'm not scared. If anything, he's scared, you know what I'm saying? He's talked all the in the past.
Call me Tfue, dude.
And now I'm getting an opportunity to back it up. Like, I just want to get in the ring with this fool and literally end it. Like, I just want to end it. To me, this is so much more than just a fight. Like, this is like years of rivalry. This is like something that everyone has wanted for the longest time. And like, I never really wanted it because like, I used to like consider him my friend. But like, in time and time again, bro, it's just like, this kid is fake. Like, he actually doesn't like me. And like, let's handle it. You know what I'm saying? Ninja, you like talking behind my back. You either get in the ring and be a man and let's do this, or like, just shut the up, make your and never talk about my name ever again because you're irrelevant. Ninja, before you know, you crawl off the mixer even more and die even harder, like, you need to get your numbers up. Let's do this fight. You need it more than I do. I mean, let's be honest, your numbers are, you're down way harder than me, that's for damn sure. But I think you need this, bro. Honestly, I do think you need this. All aside, Ninja, fight me, bro. Fight me, this is your chance. Let's run it.
Fight me, bro. Come on, fight me, bro. So that's interesting. I do recall, and I don't know Tfue at all. I do know Ninja a little bit from back in the day. I don't think Tfue is doing this like just for drama, just for hits, just for clicks, so to speak. I think he's obviously got beef with Ninja over stuff. I don't know. I don't think Ninja's going to fight him. Ninja did respond with his own tweet. You can see it here. I have no interest in fighting you. I don't hate you. I don't want you to fail. But I also don't appreciate using my Twitter being hacked as a publicity stunt. It was a breach of my privacy, which nobody deserves to deal with. You're making it worse for me and helping him. You're making, come on, Ninja, you are. So there, yeah, so he has no interest in fighting him. And again, like, this is one of those he said, she said. Obviously, Tfue feels that that Ninja has said and did shit over the last couple of years that pisses him off. I do recall a little bit when Tfue and FaZe had their big scrap, which I think legally is still going on, but when Tfue basically came out and ripped FaZe a new asshole for his contract and all that kind of stuff, if you remember all that drama, Ninja kind of came out. A lot of people did. I'm not even going to lay this at Tyler, but a lot of people came out and said, hey, man, you signed the contract, dude. You got to deal with it. Like, that's part of being a professional. You know, suck it up. You signed it. You don't like it now. Too bad, so sad. And so maybe it's all those kind of little tweets and little comments. And, you know, over the years, maybe Tfue's just been collecting these of Ninja, like, talking shit about him and, like, calling him out on stuff like that. Now, when he says that Ninja tried to get him banned, I have no idea what that's about, but that's spicy, to say the least. Again, it'd be fun to see them fight, right? I mean, KSI and Logan Paul, Jake Paul, is it Jake? Jake Paul, right? Logan's his brother, right? Like, people love.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jason doesn't know either. People love that shit. So, you know, maybe it'd be fun. I don't know I have no idea who would win. They're both big, tall guys. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting drama, the Ninja versus Tfue. And obviously now, you know, Tfue is one of the bigger kings of the Twitch platform now that Ninja is gone, right? Like his numbers are nice and solid. You know, he's mocking Ninja's numbers. I don't think Ninja gives a fuck about his monster number or his mixer number. He probably cares about the number of zeros in his bank account right now, which are a lot. It's like a multimillionaire arguing with a millionaire right now, basically, right? They're both making shitloads of fucking money. So anyway, interesting stuff. We'll keep you posted. If there is a fight, we'll be there for fight night. Don't you worry. Bringing you live ringside action. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And no, I'm not going to fight Angel Munoz. Jesus, jerky. Okay, moving on. Next little topic. GirlGamer esports event in Dubai happened this last week, and it was a clusterfuck, which is unfortunate. Right? We don't have very many gamer-specific events geared towards female competitors only, right? And they still kind of need that space to grow their own scene. You know, I think we've actually had years where we've had more female-only events than these last couple years. They've gone away versus gotten better. So the females don't get a chance to go play each other very often on a big stage, streamed, all that kind of stuff. League of Legends tournament, Counter-Strike tournament, I guess it was a nightmare. First and foremost, the League of Legends event, super delayed, you know, having to be up all, the typical like, come to the venue early morning, sit around all day, don't play till the afternoon, evening. And then when you do get to play, you get to play with sun in your eyes on an outdoor stage. That's a bad idea. Outdoor stage, computers, esports, screens, bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. Hot there as well, so you know you've got temperature issues. We've had Counter-Strike before over there, but I know when IEM did it, it might have been in ESL 1, but when ESL did it, you know, they had kind of quasi booths that were kind of quasi air conditioned, so they tried to mitigate those issues with sunlight and heat. This one doesn't appear like it tried, and it's just, again, it's unfortunate. You know, they don't have very many places to go play, and so you know you don't want any of the places they do have to go play to be just a clusterfuck of an event, right? So yeah, League of Legends was delayed, Counter-Strike was delayed, and then on the Counter-Strike side, you know, I thought that the Blast HUD was the most obnoxious HUD I've ever seen. They win. You win, GirlGamer event. You win. You got the best HUD, best as in worse, ever. Ooh. So let's take a look at it a little closer, shall we? So again, they also decided that like the default colors that we use don't really make any sense. So let's do something totally different. Pink and blues, and you know, blue's okay, but like Heather's tweet kind of called it out perfectly. Like they have 3 different colors to denote one team, depending on the mini map, the kill feed, and the actual interface where you see the player information, right? So it's like, what are you all doing? You know, T's were the wrong colors. It was just really, again, it's like they took the Blast thing and went, hold my beer, right? Or hold my Cosmo in this scenario. Like there's the Blast one, as you can see. We've already talked about it quite a bit. It's cleaner. The info's tighter and, you know, more well constructed and put in better places for Blast. My only complaint with Blast was the big use of the big hot pink, because it glows. It kind of glows on your screen and then therefore gets blurry and stuff. It's not a very crisp color, right? And now you put that on a phone and you're trying to watch a match on your phone, it just turns into a blurry fucking mess. So Blast, congratulations. You have lost the title for 2020 so far for the worst in-game interface. I mean, we all should be very grateful that we have the ability to do this in Counter-Strike. We can fuck with our interface, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just it's unfortunate, right? I mean, the HUD thing's separate than like the event just didn't go well, right? And you know, we talked about this a little bit when we were discussing the topic, it always gets a little weird too when you take esports to an area that isn't necessarily known for it, but also might be known for kind of the opposite things you're trying to achieve. You know, Dubai isn't necessarily the most progressive place in the world, that whole area. So a girl event, when, you know, you've got rights issues and all these different issues happening. We talked about it when the guys went there. When even, like, why are we supporting? There's a term when it happens in sports, when like a big country buys into the Olympics to get positive PR when they're really not built for it. I don't know the term for it. But it's kind of happening in esports, right? Like, should a GirlGamer event really be in Dubai? I mean, it opens a can of debate, right, in that sense. So
it's not Love Island.
It is not Love Island, exactly. Yeah. So, all right. See, now even Jason's talking about Love Island. See, I got him right where I want. All I need
I will never watch it.
You will. You already watched a little bit yesterday.
Let's throw to a break.
Folks, if you haven't watched Love Island, do yourself a favor, watch Love Island. All right, so that's Gamer Festival. Oh, shit. They're playing me to break. Here we go again. All right, that will do it for the first half of the show. After the break, talking about Diabotical, talking about Counter-Strike, talking about Dota 2, and answering questions at the end. See you after the break. Welcome back to the second half of the breakdown for February 26, 2020. y'all went and watched some Love Island clips, didn't you, during the break? Can't say I blame you. Can't say I blame you. Okay, let's get into the second half of the show. Again, we got plenty of good stuff to talk about. We're going to start with Dota 2. We're going to start with a little bit of Dota 2 action, right? Now, I see what you're all saying in chat about LootBet using porn to advertise. I don't know enough about the story to talk about it yet, so maybe we'll hit that up next week. It sounds intriguing and crazy as fuck. It sounds like Dota to me. So I have to do
smart marketing.
Yeah, I have to do some more investigating on what that story actually is. But that sounds very, very interesting, to say the least. But what I want to talk about is this event that happened over the week. Tug of War Mad Moon from WePlay Esports. The production value at this event, not a major, not a minor, a one-off event for Dota 2. Absolutely fucking insane. Some really, really cool shit. They had a really nice set in a really nice building, but then they did cool shit like you just saw. Like they virtual reality'd it, augmented reality, and put the set inside a big old cyber city. Just really unique, wacky stuff. Here's the commentators, Shiver and gang, all wearing kind of costumes. One day they have blue hair. Like they're just having fun, right? It's a very, very cool vibe. Cool stage. Again, Cybertruck was used to bring in the teams for one of the intros. Just really, and again, we're production guys here, so we love this kind of shit. And again, I love the augmented reality where they made the rest of the theater kind of go away, and the stage was inside a big, looked like fucking cyberpunk setting, basically. Cool stage, the stage had an LED underneath it, and then they kind of fake paved over it with the cracks in the road and stuff with the logo. Just really, really neat stuff. Shout out to Nigma, who... Nigma? Why did you name your team Nigma? They reverse sweeped Secret, came out of the lower bracket, reverse sweep in the finals to win the whole goddamn thing. So that's really cool. Again, we just liked it. Again, I'm not a huge Dota guy. Our resident Dota guy, Daniel's big in Dota. But I just thought the production value was insane. And then it led me down this...
Hey, can we talk about Dr. Discount, please?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they have their own
From
Dr. Discount that did their announcing, obviously a knockoff of Dr. Disrespect. Thought that was kind of funny. Again, not a major, not a minor. These guys have done bigger Dota events, WePlay. But I just thought it was really, really cool that these guys kind of really went for it, right? Had a theme, had an idea, and they executed on it. Very, very cool, very fun to watch, very entertaining, really neat. Got a lot of social press for it, right? Because everyone tweets this kind of cool shit. And then it led me to their Twitter, which has a whole bunch of wacky shit on it. Like, these people are having fun making Dota content, that's for sure. I found some of their old ads for the event they did in January that were just fucking out there, man. I think they're out of the Ukraine, but they seem to have a good time, so that was kind of fun to watch a little bit of that. I see in chat, where's that shirt from, Sir Scoots? WCG. Perhaps you're familiar with the World Cyber Games?
Beyond the game.
Beyond the game, you and I. Anyway, good stuff. Fun event. Oh, yeah, the January event was at a ski resort. I remember catching a little bit of that. And again, like, just really neat, really different, outside the box, if you will, right, when it comes to production. It seemed like the talent was having a good time. The players were having a good time. So, yeah, that's neat. Another piece of Dota news that literally just dropped last night that I don't have that much to talk about yet. I want to kind of wait. Since I'm not really a Dota guy, I want to get a lot more feedback. But Valve dropped a bunch of Dota news last night, reshaping their pro scene a little bit, adding regional leagues that lead to majors, that lead to DPC points, that lead to getting invited to the international. So they've kind of, I think, again, cursory, because I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to catch up with a lot of the tier 1 players / pundits of Dota talking about their thoughts on it and how it affects T1. It seems like it's a great thing for Tier 2 and Tier 3 for sure. It kind of adds a nice structure to that second level of teams, more structured places to play, more structured prize money, a way to get, into the DPC point runnings, etc. That's a really weird how that is dithering on there, folks. Sorry about that. But anyway,
yeah, fun.
If we could put the link in chat too for folks, that'd be great. But it seems like, again, and this is Valve dictating this shit, right? So they're adding a year-round kind of different structure. They've been involved in Dota and things that lead to the international for a while. Minors and majors and international now being retooled again. Regional leagues, looks like minors go away. Regional leagues lead to majors. No more. And then the one thing that did pop out to me today, and yeah, great prize pools, especially for the Tier 2, Tier 3 teams, that don't make a whole lot of money. One of the things, I can't remember who tweeted it this morning, top-level Dota guy was talking about it. I think it was Loda. It might have been Loda from Alliance. And he was mentioning that, generally, quick thoughts from him, looks good, interesting concept. But the one thing that seems to be missing that kind of sucks, his opinion, so to speak, there's no longer an open qualifier for the international, right? So, which is probably good and bad, depending on who you ask. Before, a team could neglect a good chunk of the calendar in hopes or in thought process that we'll just do really well in the open qualifier for the international, and then this other bullshit we don't have to waste our time with. We'll qualify here, and then we're done, versus having to jump through all the hoops to get all the points all year long to qualify, right? That system's gone. There is no more an open qualification for the international. So now you have to somehow get involved in this system, right? I don't know what that means to like a Tier 1 team versus a Tier 3 team, right? So definitely going to keep an eye on it. Again, this just dropped last night. Me not being a Dota expert community-wise or game-wise, I don't really know how it affects all the players. Definitely going to pay attention to everyone's social this week and kind of see as they all pontificate on the good and bad of it. Again, it's another example, though, of Valve wrapping their arms around Dota and basically taking control again. And then what they basically said is around all the stuff that we've structured is room for those third-party events that aren't majors, that are standalone, again, like this one, to find their place. Right now, I didn't look at the dates to see how much room that really leaves for anything else other than this system. But interesting stuff. And we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. Yeah, but the overarching thing seems to be that Tier 1 has to pay attention all year versus, again, that last shot to the international, because obviously Dota it's all about the international, right? It's all about the international. So maybe this is Valve's way of kind of making it still about the international, but more of a year-long path to get there versus, yeah, just show up at the end and qualify your ass in. But anyway, meanwhile, over here at Counter-Strike, we got our majors. We get a couple majors a year. Yay. So I thought that was very interesting. We will keep an eye on it to see what it does to Tier 2, Tier 3, as literally and what it does to Tier 1. But again, Valve doing stuff with Dota. Although there is some news about Counter-Strike 2 coming up. Now, shifting gears to something else that starts with a D, Diabotical. If you don't know what Diabotical is, you need to Google it right now. Start researching it. It is a game that has been a long time coming from James Harding, also known as Too Good, long before it even had a name. This is something that James has been thinking about forever, wanting to make this game. It's come a long way, 7 years in the making, so to speak. Just really, really cool. Everyone who at all ever cared about arena FPS is really excited about this. This could be the new Quake, right? This could be our new duel game. Team deathmatch. I haven't paid that much attention to it. I don't even know what modes are in it right now, but the idea is that this could be that new game, the new Quake, right? For our dueling love. Because again, there's something so pure about a 1v1 shooter game. And we haven't had one. We haven't had one in a really long time that grabbed everybody, right? So again, reason we're talking about it this week is the beta starts this weekend. It is a closed beta. I think you can apply to get in. And they've dropped, James is dropping a bunch of content, as well as, there's a nice spicy kind of launch trailer that we're going to show. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the game and about James. But let's go ahead and look at this game. Whoo! Color me excited, James. I had a long talk with James last year or so. Saw him at Counter-Strike Major. We chatted for a good chunk of the night about this game and his plans for it, the plans for his game studio, because his plans are more than one game. And, again, like, if you don't know who Too Good is, like, he's an OG, man. He's a legendary guy. He's been around forever. On the production side, yeah, here's the good show. Young Semler sitting next to James. James is on the right. Semler's on the left, typing. And Apollo was part of this show. Trance, who went to work for Twitch, who now works for Endeavor. Like, the who's who of people. There's Jeff. Jeff was on the show a bunch. James is just a badass, right? Comes from a dueler, shooter background. And he has always, again, wanted to make this game, right? And he's always talked about it. So, and I think where James has an advantage over just some game development company is he's worked for developers. He's worked hand in hand with big companies on, helping them with game releases and promo and production and all those things. And he's a badass player himself, right? So, and I think he also gets the economics of how you build a game in this day and age, right? It's one thing to build a great game. It's another thing to build a game that actually has legs and it can monetize and it can survive and all those kind of things. So really excited that he's finally getting this out there. People can play it. Marcus, nice to see you. DJ Wheat's in chat. He is talking about that the engine feels great. Him and TGM have been playing it. Marcus, hope you're feeling better, by the way. Again, like, James is not going to make a shooter game that feels shitty. The network code's going to be good. The engine's going to feel good, right? Like, you wouldn't even waste his fucking time. So, again, this might slide into that niche that we've been waiting, that we thought Quake Champions would fill. It didn't fill. And again, in very like mod-like function, he's added all these different tools, right? Like you saw in the clip. Mod tools for map development, mod tools to literally move your interface anywhere you want. You don't want your armor and all your shit over here, we'll move it over here. You want, like, all that shit customizable out of the fucking gate, right? Crosshairs, you name it, right? Like, all very important systems already in place, right? And again, just really excited. I can't wait to get my beta key and start messing with it. I'm sure the guys that have been playing it for a while are badasses, but here's a video of James like messing with the interface. As a user, you can put shit wherever the fuck you want, right? Some developers hate to do that. They're like, no, this is where we want your health to be. This is where your armor is going to be. We know better than you, the player. You're not moving shit. This is the interface, right? And James is like, fuck it. You can move whatever the fuck you want. We don't care, right? So for tournament organizers that have to move stuff around based on where they need to put advertisement or overlays for the stream, for content creators on YouTube or streamers, so, my camera normally sits right here. Well, fuck, it's covering up my health. Move the fucking health, right? So just really, again, just fucking smart stuff, right? And, James has become a meme, right? We joke with James about his time in Dota 2. I talked about Dota 2 earlier. If you're not familiar with James, what you might be familiar with is James is an ass, and we will no longer be working with him. James comes from Dota as well, did a lot of Dota content at that studio, used to do a lot of stuff around some of the big Dota events, international, etc. A couple years ago, he said some spicy stuff at the Shanghai Major, got fired by Gabe himself, right? Gabe basically turned him into a meme. James is an ass, and we will no longer be working with him anymore. I'm sure James is okay with that, but that is James. So yeah, really, really excited for you, James. Can't wait to play it myself. And again, I think all of us that are I wasn't ever good at Quake. It's a really high-speed game. My reflexes have never been the greatest. Maybe that's why I lean towards Counter-Strike, because it's a little slower, a little more methodical, But I've always had a deep respect for the Quake guys, man, because the shit they have to keep in their head, from the timings of all the power-ups to map control, it's nonstop. Watching a guy like Rafa and these guys bounce through maps is just fucking incredibly entertaining, right? And we don't have that esport, right? I came up in the era of Quake versus Counter-Strike, right? And yeah, it's great that Counter-Strike is here, but Quake just fucking, after kind of Quake Live kind of did its thing, and Quake Champions, we're all just desperate for it. So as an esport, we need it, and whether this leans into just 1v1s or team-based games, I'm just really excited for it. I'm really excited for people to start throwing little cups, and we see how it plays, and having Marcus commentate it and shit. That'll be fucking awesome. So knock on wood, James. I hope the launch goes well. I hope the beta goes well. We will definitely be keeping an eye on it and playing that game for sure. But again, nice to see. Nice to see that it's out, or heading towards being out. But at least we can start playing it. So, yeah. Arena shoot 'em. Right back, baby. All right, now let's move on to some Counter-Strike news. The rest of it is mostly Counter-Strike news. We will start off with let's catch up on Dreamhack Anaheim. Happened over the weekend. Always nice to have events in the United States. Anaheim, big convention center. Dreamhack Open is more of kind of their general Dreamhack, so it's kind of LAN party meets a whole lot of esports tournaments. Juked had a whole landing page for it because there were tons of tournaments. We're going to talk about Counter-Strike. The boys at Gen G pulled off the victory, so that was kind of cool. Always nice to see Counter-Strike in North America, It seemed well attended, fun to watch, good desk. And what I'm liking, DreamHack's not the only one that's doing it, but I noticed that this event as well, they had a kind of a separate interview section, right? Like Blast was bringing the pros to the analyst desk and trying to get a little past kind of the standard, how'd you play? What do you think? Those kind of generic post-game questions, and trying to get a little bit more, getting the analysts involved to ask the questions. DreamHack did something kind of similar where Bach would go over to the separate set and sit with the players and kind of chit-chat with them, and then the analysts would ask questions. Again, just getting more info from those players and not the standard just throwaway post-game questions, I think is always good, right? You're often going to get some still generic political questions and answers, but whenever you get them in that little bit more comfortable setting and not just like on stage right afterwards, you might get a little bit more juice from those players, right? When you get them a little bit more comfortable. So I like that DreamHack was doing that. The Opens are not meant to be the tier 1 major type looking events, but their production value was good. Everything was smooth. So it was nice to see. Nice to see. And again, congratulations to Gen G. Brand new Team Org in Counter-Strike, right? They've come to Counter-Strike to join the Flashpoint League. So nice to see Gen G as a team of players doing well, and that just sets them up to start their Flashpoint run, right? So good stuff there. Moving on, IEM is happening right now in Poland. As you know, if you're a Counter-Strike fan, you're probably watching it this morning. It's actually happening, I think, still actually right now. When we went, I think we were in map 2 of Mouse Sports G2 when we started the show. So again, not talking about in sense of results yet. G2's playing well. Nip's already out. Tyloo's out. Virtus Pro's out. Of the bracket, they're gone. They won't make it into the arena. I think there was a fourth. I think there was a fourth team that lost today. Cloud9. Thank you, Cloud9. But big event. And then one thing I want to talk about. I'll talk about that in a second. So, in context, 14 of the top 20 teams Half-Life TV ranking are at this event. 14 out of 20 are at the event. The last time that many top 20 teams were at an event together was Cluj-Napoca, the major, in 2015, and that had 16 of the current top 20 in attendance. This is the next one in that little stat, right? Where this is second place to that one. And a couple have had like 12, 13 teams, but 14 of the top 20 are there. So it's gonna get spicy, right? And the 4 teams that are out are basically the 4 highest ranked teams, if you will. Worst teams have already lost, right? So everything's going towards plan, if you will, when it comes to the rankings. Here's the ongoing bracket. And again, just heating up right now, though this weekend will be the big push. They're just doing the group bracket play right now. And then one other thing that I wanted to mention that just got announced today, again, breaking news, back to the coronavirus story, right? ESL announced today that come arena days for this tournament in Poland, they're going to start doing temperature checks, which if you've paid any attention to the coronavirus, that's one of the first things they do. If you got a fever, that's the first sign that you're sick, right? So they're doing temperature checks. Right now the tournament's played behind closed doors, right? But this weekend is when the Spodek opens up. They're going to do temperature checks, and basically what happens is if you've got a temperature, you then go to talk to some medical personnel they've also hired to find out why you have a temperature, right? But if they feel that you got coronavirus, guess what? You're not going to the venue, right? And I think you're going to see this often, and not just esports events, right? Like people are freaking out about this, rightfully so, right? They don't want this to spread. They don't want this to get pandemic level at all, right? So thank you, Jason. PAX is also canceling a lot of events. PAX East happens this weekend as well. So you're just going to see a lot more people like staying in their groups, a lot more Purell hand washing, a lot more masks, right? Although you have to wear the right mask, or it doesn't matter what mask you're wearing. This virus can live on fucking this desk for hours, right? So like, it's very, very nerve-wracking, right? I mean, when I was at Disney last month, I was just watching kids and parents touch everything. And it was less about the virus then, right? Since then, Disney Shanghai closed. Disney, there's 2. Disney, there's Shanghai and there's another one that are both closed. Hong Kong. Disney Hong Kong is closed, right? But I just remember watching, and I just always get paranoid just of getting sick when I fly. You know, just regular catch a cold, right? Because of the air and shit you touch. And just watching, like, kids touching everything, man. Like, and my nephew touching everything. And my brother going, dude, can you not lick the rail, please? Can you not lick the rail that everyone's touching, you know? So I can only imagine the heightened fear, because that's just getting sick, catching a cold, right? This shit kill you, right? So
don't shake hands.
Yeah, don't shake hands. Don't even fist bump, right? But again, ESL being proactive, I think we're going to see more of it at any event where there's lots of people attending, that people are going to start checking stuff and being cautious of who they let in the building. Now, what if you're just a kid who's got a fever, got a regular cold, right? Is he going to get denied entrance? I don't know. We're going to find out, I guess. You know, what the cutoff is, how they really do the searching for it. Again, can't blame them at all for starting to be cautious about it. I would be bummed if I was a kid who just had a fever and you made me think I had the coronavirus and I was going to die. But I guess better safe than sorry, right? Better safe than sorry for everybody.
You have fear, fucking stay home.
Yeah, you know, and it's just unfortunate. And again, you're going to see this throughout the world. All sorts of events are going to cancel. They're going to postpone. They're going to go behind closed doors because, again, this shit all spreads in the public. So the less in the public you have, the less chance it spreads, right? Again, smart of IEM. You know, we don't want anyone to get sick. Anybody, whether they're a player, a fan, an admin, a broadcaster. It's very smart to be paranoid and be a little nervous on something like this, right? I just think of all the scary like zombie apocalypse movies we've all seen, or Outbreak, right? Contagion, all these different like doomsday scenario movies. Anyway, so yeah, if you're sick, if you're not feeling good, just stay home and watch it. The stream's good. That's the best thing about esports is our streams are fucking top notch. You don't have to go. Stay home. Stay safe. So that's IEM. Again, still happening. We'll wrap up this weekend. I'm sure I'll talk about it next weekend when we have winners. We'll talk about their production value, anything new and exciting they're throwing our way. You know, they're already doing stuff they've been doing. You know, so they've got the Weatherman TV going where one of the analysts can break down rounds and stuff. That's all good stuff, right? I think Counter-Strike's in a really good place, and with Flashpoint coming and the content and the spiciness they're going to bring. Outside of our drama of these two leagues fighting, I think we're in for a hell of a year of Counter-Strike when it comes to the quality of broadcast stuff we see, as well as the quality of the game we see, right? Leading me into the game itself. What a segue, Scott. God, you nailed that segue. Jason, tell me I nailed the segue.
Finally.
He says finally. This is what this motherfucker
Oh,
says
no,
to me.
they can hear it.
Oh, I never know when you're just talking to me anymore, because, you know.
I'm in your head right now. Nobody knows.
I'm in my head. So we got a patch. Right? Yay, Counter-Strike got another patch. Adding to the agent patch. So this patch has a couple things in it. I'm going to use the word patch too often. The agents, which are our models in Counter-Strike, you can now put patches on, little physical patches. So that's coming. The crosshair tools, where you can now in-game, what a concept, adjust your crosshair in a variety of ways, as well as they tweaked the buy menu. The radial buy menu has been tweaked to then show you a preview of the gun you might want to buy in your agent's hand, which some of them look really fucking funny, to say the least. A whole bunch of adjustments, you know, again, to the mouse, to the crosshairs. What you're seeing now used to be a third-party tool. You'd go to this website and you could adjust your cursor and everything about your crosshair. It would show you a variety of different map backgrounds that you could see how your crosshair looked at, you know, on Dust 2, on Inferno, etc. Really, really neat tool. It was a third-party tool. And then you could save it, right? Now you can do that all within the game. And you can share your code, so I can have Jason's crosshair if I want it, or I can have the pro's crosshair if the pro wants to share his crosshair. So instead of sharing the whole config, you can actually just share this code, and that is the config, right? So that's kind of neat. Long time coming, I would say. Like, not gonna, like, woo-hoo, like, you should have done this kind of shit. Like, this game is only 20 years old. Could have had this shit in a long time ago. The menu for buying shit got dramatically changed, and it has since been updated on those changes for mouse placement, where the mouse starts, to help with muscle memory of people that are used to buying shit. I don't think most pros I don't think they're clicking on shit. They either have the numbers memorized, because everything's got a number, or they've bound actual keys, right, to buy stuff. But again, growing game, player base continuing to grow. So, you know, a lot of this stuff is maybe quality of life for the regular players and not the pro players. One other thing that they did, there you go, throw that gun away. Get that gun right out of the game. We don't even need that thing. And then one other thing that's got a little spiciness to it is they made a change to the AWP movement speed post-shot crouched, right? It used to be, Valve says it was a bug, that after you shot and you were crouched, you would ramp up to full speed very quickly, right? Whereas you're supposed to ramp up to full speed slowly, right? Like you don't go, like in Counter-Strike, you don't go 0 to 60 when you hit the W key or side strafe or whatever, right? But as an AWPer, if you were crouched, you did. You got that quick, which as an AWPer, you want to get the fuck out of the way, right? They've now taken that bug away and fixed it, so it matches everything else. So it's a feature now, not a bug. To which Kenny S said, "What the fuck, right? What are you doing to me?" He tweeted, and a little snarkiness, and one of his tweets was like, "What's next, Valve? Are you going to remove the scope from my gun, basically? Like, why are you fucking me, right?" Get it? Scope op, pretty important to the gun. So, interesting. People are still swirling about it. It just happened, so people are starting to play and mess with stuff. The other thing that we have to give credit to Don Hasse, good old Don. He might not have discovered it. I'm going to give him credit. He might have found it somewhere else, and I saw his tweet, so he gets credit for it. But he found some code inside the game a little bit that talks about, again, back to the idea of being able to put a physical patch on your agent. He found some patch codes that relate to kind of our major autograph system, right? And team patch system. So this gets me really excited. Now, there's still a debate about agents being pay to win. Some are easier to see, some are harder to see. If you're colorblind, some of them are still a big problem for you. And the PA is sending feedback to Valve about the pro player feedback on this shit. Like, I can't see this. I'm colorblind in this way, and this agent's bad. But on top of that, I don't think patches themselves are going to add enough color or brightness to kind of fuck a skin and make it too visible. Let's assume it doesn't, right? I like the idea. Again, teams are always looking for rev share opportunities, right? When it comes to Counter-Strike, the only rev share we get from Valve right now is during the majors. The player autographs, all those things have a rev share that are shared with the teams, that are shared with the players, that are shared with the TO, right? So, and fans get all excited, they buy the capsules, and away we go, right? So I like the idea that Valve might be bringing those patches to the actual in-game models, right? We talked about it last week when we showed the ESL Pro Tour video, or Pro League video, where they had all the teams that had signed up, and they all had, it was all the operators, different operators, or agents, I should say, and they all had their team patches on them, right? That would be cool if when we're watching at home, that Fanatics all got the same uniform. They've all got patches, right? And you can buy that patch, and you can wear it on your guy at home. Fnatic makes a little bit of money on that, right? Valve makes money on that. The TO makes money on that. So I hope they're bringing in some sort of patch system to go hand in hand with the autograph system of the majors, right? So fans have, I've been saying for a while, like, give us something year round. Like, it's great you do it for the major, and players make money, teams make money, TO makes money on that thing. But how cool would it be if, like, year round, I could buy a complexity patch, or if Evil Geniuses ever fixes their logo, I would buy an Evil Geniuses patch, right? That would be neat, right? And then that revenue is a constant to those team owners, right? They need that. They need that in our game. They need as many revenue streams as possible. It's the whole reason Flashpoint exists, is these team owners like Counter-Strike, but they need more. They need to bite into something differently than just send their team to other places to play. So keeping an eye on that. Hopefully, again, it leads to more cool shit that fans can give their money, so everyone in the ecosystem can make a piece of it, right? And the fans get a cool thing to wear, right? We still have to get to the point where fucking, we still have an issue where the pro players would rather min models come back, right? Where you can set a min model and you see the same terrorist as a CT, you see the same CT as terrorists, right? That is different than what the observers would show the people at home, right? This is literally what the players see, not necessarily how the observer PC is set up. Because obviously Valve wants the operators to be used, agents, I keep saying operators, Rainbow Six, they want the agents to be used because they want to sell them. They want people to buy them, right? So we're going to get to a point where Valve says, agents are in play, deal with it, right? We're not there yet. Right now, there is a gentleman's agreement being discussed among all the pros about until Valve fixes everything to where we're all cool with it, how about we do a gentleman's agreement, we don't use them, right? Because again, some have visibility issues, right? They really do. So we'll keep an eye on that. Cool patch. But again, I'm really hoping that the patch, if you will, brings us some more major goodies to invest in. Because I think that would be very, very, very cool for the scene, very good for players, teams, etc. And adds another way for fans to get involved, right? We often talk about esports fans are not monetized anywhere near whatever game, anywhere near the level of a sports fan is monetized, right? And we just need to get better at that, right? Not trying to bleed our fans dry, but there's a fine line between no monetization from your fans and too much, right? So we just got to find that. We got to get closer to sports, I think. And we're just not there yet. So that's the patch update. And then final topic of the day. Wow, this actually is a short show. We're a little over an hour right now. Got to talk about the feel-good story of the week. Got to talk about this one. Pokemon Oceania Championships, Junior Championships specifically, had a crazy feel-good story happen over the week. This little 17-year-old girl, Simone Lim, seven. I said 7. Little 7-year-old.
You said 17.
No,
do you want to rewind the show?
Shut the fuck up! 7-year-old. He thinks he can just chalk in my ear anytime he fucking wants.
Oh, no, I'm talking to the stream.
I'll
Don't
just
worry.
take it out. There, now what are you going to do, Al? Now we're going to do, Alquist. I can't hear you. La, 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 la. I can't hear you. La. Oh, God damn it. God damn it. Now he's in my speaker. Vinny, can we get rid of the speaker? Can you turn the speaker off? Cool. Okay. So, yeah, there's speakers here as well. So I'm never. God damn it, Jason. You always win. Anyway, young 7-year-old Singaporean, Simone Lim, beat the #1 seed in the tournament, 14-year-old, in grand fashion. Really, really cool moment. Really neat to see. Yes, Pokemon's got an esports side of it. Yes, there are competitions. And it was just really, really cool. Let's go ahead and play her winning moment.
Knowing that Justin's last Pokemon is going to be the Dusclops, Simone has a very difficult decision. She can go for a dark type attack into that Dusclops and pick up the KO, but then Rhyperior is free to knock out her Tyranitar. If Justin doesn't protect the Rhyperior and she misses the opportunity to attack into it, that could be huge. Here we go.
Tyranitar
she uses
Crunch. She called the protect. Get the KO.
Simone reading that perfectly, predicting that protect on the Rhyperior, and she just needs to find a way to knock out this Rhyperior, and she will be the next champion. This is down to the absolute wire.
Tyranitar going for the superpower right into the Rhyperior, and it's enough to get the knockout. Congratulations to Simone, our next Oceania International Champion.
She's like, did I win?
The crowd is going wild, but Simone is just there happily smiling, getting a hug.
Oh. Again, feel good story. She did an interview a little later with one of the hosts, and he asked her, how did you know to do that? And she basically called it. She's like, I knew he was gonna I think it was protect. I knew he was gonna protect. I might be using the wrong verbiage there on that. And she nailed it, and very, very chill. The little post-game interview we don't have, but it was kind of fun to watch, and he's very nice asking her questions and stuff, and she's very polite. But she just nailed it, right? And again, the person she beat, twice her age, 14 years old, and the #1 seed in the tournament, was supposed to win the whole damn thing. So just really, again, one of those feel-good stories that we all need every so often to be like, hey, gaming isn't a horrible thing that makes you into a school shooter, that makes you not do your homework, Like, just a really, really neat story, you know? And obviously, Pokemon's been around for a very, very long time. It's not like this is a brand new game no one's ever heard of before. You know, although Anthony is more of an old school guy, he's not into the new heroes. Are they heroes, Anthony? I don't even know. But just a really good viral story. Got picked up by everybody, talked about by everyone. You know, we don't get those very often, right? And so, even though it's a game I don't play or pay any attention to, and I missed the window. I was already in college and adulting when the first wave of Pokemon came, so I totally missed all of that. But it's just really neat, you know, and congratulations to her for thumping. And it was just so cute. She gives an interview, and he was like, any final questions or anything? And she's like, no, that's it. No, just totally threw him under the bus at the end of the interview. But congratulations to her. I did just call them heroes. I don't know. God, I hate
They're
you all,
Mon,
man.
right?
I don't know what they are. Are they Mons? I don't know.
Fuck if I know.
Fuck if I know, man. All right. I was smoking weed and listening to Led Zeppelin when you all were fucking dealing with your trainers. I don't fucking know. Anyway, really good story, really cool. Now, what I don't know is, like, does that lead her? Is she now qualified to, like, is there another, does this get her into the overall championship?
Gets her into world champions.
It does get her into the world champions. So then we'll see how she does against everybody, right? Out of her age group and with the everybody. But how cool would it be if she wins the whole goddamn thing, right? Anyway, neat stuff. I lost my card. It's right here. I think the last thing on my list, though, is Q&A. Let's get to some Q&A, Jason.
Did you need the card for that?
I didn't. I didn't feel like littering. I felt bad. So, yeah.
Thanks. Vinny appreciates it.
Yeah.
First question for today. Oh, also, everybody, we have a timer for all our questions, so Scott is under the gun. First question from Osimo. Does Scott now believe in French CS again?
Wait, you say again like at one point I didn't believe in French CS. So, sacre bleu. I mean, G2's looking good. I had no complaints, and in some regards, OG's looking good. So, you know, it is the French scene. So every so often they just need to fight, break up, separate, and they all start playing well. They'll fuck this all up eventually, though. They'll fight again. They'll break up again. They'll swap players again. So it's like the never-ending revolving door of French CS. But it's nice to see, you know, projects like G2, you know, starting to pay off a little bit. And the same thing certainly with OG on a much earlier basis, if you will, right? Much newer Counter-Strike team. A minute to spare. Do I get to keep that for the next question?
No.
No.
All right, here's the next one here. So, if you had to fight anyone in esports, who would it be?
If I had to fight anyone in esports, who would it be?
I wish we had the rights to Jeopardy music.
I think I would probably fight Ryan Morrison, the agent. I think I'd
Excellent.
I think I'd scrap with him.
Is that it? That's done?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
All right, so
No,
if you 1v1
I-
in CS, who would you fight?
A 1v1 in CS. Oh, boy. Anthony from our
Anthony,
production
nope.
department. Young Bucks, all full of bravado over there with his Counter-Strike skills.
All right, here. So this one's a kind of a weird question. Let's see if I can make it English. You talked about the agreement between the CS PPA and ESL is not public.
Yep.
How can players make sure that the PA has negotiated a deal that is good for them if they haven't seen it? I'm not sure how that all works, so maybe you can explain it.
Yeah, I mean, the players involved in the decision have seen it, but not every Counter-Strike player has seen it. The way the PA is set up, much like most PAs, is you have a board of players that the other players have entrusted with making day-to-day decisions, right? It's not feasible for 200 members to make decisions on everything, just like in the NFL or the NBA. They've got a board of players that makes decisions. Some things are general vote, some things are board vote. It just depends on the topic. So in regards to this, obviously the board did the negotiations for these agreements. Lots of back and forth with other players in the association, but obviously all behind closed doors, not publicly, because it's not a public document, NDAs, et cetera. I've said since the first show, I'd love all these agreements to be public. Again, just like the CBAs in sports are public, let's make ours public, right? I liked that ESL and the teams involved decided to make the Louvre agreement public that they agreed on for the Pro League and the Pro Tour. I would love Flashpoint to make their paperwork with their teams, you know, and how the structure works public. I know there's a fine line between, you know, too much of your business being public. I get that. Maybe some of these things have to be redacted a little bit. But I would love the ESL one, and then when the Flashpoint one comes and the Blast one comes, I'd love them all to be just public domain info, right? I know on the player side, we've talked about it. We're cool with it. We're cool with what we've agreed to being public, but the other side of the negotiation has to be cool with it as well. When it comes to the nuts of your question, players need to be active as well. If you're a player in the PA, you should be asking questions of your board members, of your PA representatives. I'm not a rep of the PA, right? I'm an advisor to them. But the board members are public. The guys that run the PA are public. So by all means, players should be also trying to inform themselves, I guess, is what I would say in that situation.
All right, last question.
Last question. All right, I'm ready.
Who do you think's going to win Love Island?
Well.
Oh, we're all out of time this week. Maybe next week, everyone.
That's some bullshit. Was that really the?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Wait, do I get to answer the question though, or no?
No.
Okay.
We're out of time.
To be fair, I can't answer it because I'm watching old seasons, so like I'm not caught up to the new season. So.
So I can spoil it for you, is what you're saying.
You could try. You could try. But really, it's not about who wins or who loses on Love Island, Jason. It's about who finds a connection and actually finds love on Love Island. You could actually lose the game and still find love on Love Island, okay? That's why it's the best goddamn reality show ever.
All right, goodbye.
And that's going to do it for us, folks. That is this week of The Breakdown. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Also, tomorrow, all the VODs and audio will drop. And later on tonight, if you want to watch the show again or you missed it and you want to catch up, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 6 o'clock Pacific, I will be running a re-stream of this show in our Twitch channel. You can come watch it with me and I can cringe at how bad Jason was today. All right, that's it. Thanks, folks. Much love. See you next week.